This story is actually over a month old, but it's a shocking story that's getting new attention because Billboard Chris recently ran into a man named Adam Vena at Amfest in Phoenix. Adam Vena is a man who has lost custody of his son because his mother in California wants to transition this 5-year-old boy to a girl. There's a story in NBC News which had shocking language. I retweeted this. It said that a family was scared their daughter, if left untreated for her affliction, would turn into a boy. I would like to just let every one of you know what they were talking about was a young male child that they said was a girl, and that puberty would just advance the development of said male child. But the way they framed it is so interesting. Would turn into a boy? Well, you mean maybe turn into a man through puberty, but the child was already male to begin with. Language. It's very interesting. Here's a story from Turning Point USA. Savannah Hernandez writes, yet another story of a father who has lost custody of his son after objecting to his child being subjected to gender transition has come to light. Adam Vena, the father of 5-year-old Aiden, lost custody of his young son after disagreeing with his girlfriend, okay, not his wife, about his alleged transgender identity. Currently facing a restraining order, Vena is fighting to gain access to his son before his mother has the ability to supply him with puberty and hormone blockers. I gotta be honest. It's California, man. I think this guy's in trouble. I think his son is in trouble. And I'm worried about what this means for this country, and I talk about it quite a bit. Before we go further, because we always have to do these plugs, how it works, you always got to be promoting, right? That's what, who was it? Logan Paul said that. Thebestsongever.com. Please help support our work. If you like the song, buy it. If you want to support our work, buy it. Click download. It says your price, 69 cents. And if we sell enough of these, the song will chart on Billboard. And the main goal here is we teamed up with the Daily Wire, Michael Knowles and Jeremy Boring, and we're going to force the industry to recognize that music exists outside of their confines. Tom McDonald's experienced similar things where they keep him off the Billboard charts despite the fact the dude clearly is hitting it out of the ballpark every single time. So Jeremy Boring and Michael Knowles had their FU with Together Again. We teamed up because we wanted to respond in kind because they literally told us to F ourselves. If you want to support our work, thebestsongever.com. But let's get back to the news. I am terrified for my son, Vena said. I am terrified of what they've been pumping inside my son's head. According to Vena, everyone involved in the custody battle, from the judge to Aiden's mother's attorney, has been vehemently supportive of the ideology. They refer to my son as a girl in court. Vena also said that the attorney for Aiden's mother goes by she, her pronouns. The Pasadena judge, who was initially overseeing the custody case, Harvey Silberman, had previously made a name for himself within the LGBTQ community after working as the staff attorney for the AIDS Project LA. Quote, I was denied the ability to attend the gender assessment, was denied the ability to ask my own questions as the father of Aiden. Not one time was I ever sat down and asked about what I thought was going on with my son. According to Vena, even his doctors initially said that Aiden did not have gender dysphoria, but rather gender curiosity. Despite this, Aiden's mother continued to dress him in girls' clothing and ultimately changed Aiden's pronouns to she, her, a crucial part of the grooming process that Vena said Aiden's mother has been subjecting their son to since he was just 2 years old. Aiden's mother also emailed the private school Adam was paying for his son to attend to inform the school that Aiden was now transgender. Vena only found out about this when another concerned parent of the school reached out to him and shared the email sent by Aiden's mother. I'm sure you all know Aiden, the boy who wears dresses, the email began. Aiden has come out as transgender and is ready for the world to accept her for who she truly is. She fully identifies as female, uses female pronouns, and uses the girls' restroom. Okay. All right. Let's play. Right now, you got California. I think you've got Washington. These are sanctuary states. That's what they call them. If a third party kidnaps your child and brings them to California for a sex change operation or medication, the state will not prosecute. Here is my proposal to conservatives. If you are in Missouri, if you are in Texas, if you are in West Virginia, Now is the time to pass a child protection sanctuary law. West Virginia, I call upon you as a resident of your state. There should be a law that says if a parent, not some third party, a parent brings their child to West Virginia seeking sanctuary to protect the child from dangerous medical procedures, the state will not cooperate with federal law enforcement and the state will not prosecute. This is exactly what California is saying, and they go to the extreme with it. Let's say there's some creepy predator online, messages your kid on some online forum, convinces them to run away. The kid flees the home, goes to the train station, gets on the train, meets up with the predator who drives them to California, drops them off and says, have fun. The state says that man did nothing wrong. West Virginia should have a law, all conservative states should, that if the parent of a child feels that the state is going to impose damaging medical procedures against the parent's wishes, the parent should be able to flee to that state without fear of prosecution or cooperation from the state with the federal government. I'm not saying anyone should do that. I'm saying legislators should pass that law, which is no different than what we see in these other states, right? Just in the other direction. In fact, I'm sure many people on the left could arguably agree with this, right? Conversion therapy, how about that? That's something, it's time that conservatives push back on. So Billboard Chris got to speak with him out in front of, I believe, just outside of AmFest, where we currently are, ladies and gentlemen. I know, I can hear it already. Everyone's saying, Tim, your audio was bad. Guys, come on. I apologize. It is what it is. I've got a laptop and a camera in front of me, and I'm in a bedroom. It's this or it's nothing. Given the option, I will always do the work. I'm not going to stop doing work because the microphone's bad. So I apologize. We did everything we could. But seeing the tremendous amount of voices and positive work that is being done, seeing the people who are fighting back against this horrible woke cult, it's inspiring to see everybody here at AmFest. And I have this to say. Talk of civil war. I know. Here we go. I'm sure it'll come up with Tucker Carlson tonight, who will be joining us on Timcast IRL. Perhaps it may be one of the opening stories we talk about. It's on the mind. And stories like this are why I fear we have a potential for civil war. Because it's not just, say, Joe Biden imposes a tax or a law. It is that children will be taken from their fathers, and their fathers will say no. Here's a dad. He says they're going to give medication to his son. What happens if, I don't want to rope Adam into it. I'm not going to speak for him. But I've already given the abortion example. Someone in Oklahoma flees to Colorado for an abortion. The father says it's illegal. They've kidnapped my child. What do you do? What do you do? There's already been some states saying that it is illegal to flee the state for an abortion, and it's conspiracy. Here we go, baby. Imagine a man living in Kansas, gets married, has a kid. The mom thinks the kid's trans. The dad thinks the kid is not. The mom takes the kid to California. The state says they're going to chemically castrate this child, or surgically. And so what does the dad do? Eventually, you're going to get a father who's going to say, over my dead body, will you harm my child? I'm actually surprised it's not come sooner. I mean it seriously. It's one thing, I've talked to many conservatives about abortion. And as much as they say abortion is murder, they don't view it as the same kind of murder as like actually running somebody over. Some do. Some absolutely do. But we're not at the point where you will actually have a man say, my child was kidnapped. I mean, let me tell you this. What would happen if a stranger kidnapped a kid's child who was not transgender, just kidnapped a child? Amber Alert would go out. This guy then takes the kid and tries to surgically modify the child in horrifying ways. I mean, we're talking SWAT teams kicking the door in. The only difference now is it's state sanctioned, so nobody will do anything about it. Do you think a father, if he found out his son was kidnapped by a creepo, do you think that father would hunt that creepo down to save his son? A lot would. A lot of parents would never give up. I don't understand how we're currently in this position, and it worries me. It worries me that We're dangerously close to someone taking the law into their own hands. And then what happens? I don't know if that'll be the spark that starts civil war, but certainly a strong cultural issue that shows between different states and regions, the views are so dramatically different. I warned this in 2020. Regional geographic hyperpolarization is happening. We'll see. My friends, tonight at 8 p.m., we'll be on stage at TPUSA's AmFest, hanging out with Charlie Kirk and Tucker Carlson. You don't want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. YouTube.com/TimcastIRL or Timcast.com. We'll see y'all there.